Let's confront an uncomfortable reality. Your ideas aren't genuinely your own anymore. Not because you've lost the ability to think profoundly, but because the world doesn't allow it. Your focus has been seized, trained to jump between diversions, like a moth attracted to flickering lights. Each tap provides another dose of mental sweetness. You think you're in charge, but you've been reprogrammed. Stop now. Take a deep breath. When was the last time you were in pure tranquility? No bright screens, no buzzing alerts, no urge to fill the silence with digital clutter. Can you remember? Doubtful. And if you can, it probably felt odd, like being unclothed in an empty space. That unease shows what's been taken from you. We've arrived at a stage where tradition has been supplanted by material, an unending stream of pleasure designed to hinder significant contemplation. It's not learning, it's domination, not illumination, but avoidance. The most alarming aspect? You don't even see the robbery occurring. Your mind now yearns for quick thrills, brief videos, fleeting anger that fades by dusk, disposable fads. Speed takes the place of profundity. Feeling replaces essence. They nourish you with vacant treats for the intellect, and you consume them thoughtlessly, never questioning the impact of this regimen on your mental sharpness. Marshall McLuhan cautioned, "Us, the medium, shapes the message. We weren't defeated by censors but by endless feeds, not by controlling data but by data excess. So much clamor that reality becomes indistinguishable from rubbish." Huxley's forecast came true, unlike Orwell's. They didn't forbid literature, they made it pointless. Why grapple with tough concepts when you can get preformed views in meme style? Why bear the discomfort of genuine thought when boundless enjoyment is a swipe away? Amusement has spread beyond relaxation. It's now the constant hum of our existence. The occasional film or tune is innocuous, but when every spare second must be filled with excitement, we've entered risky territory. We didn't just lose the capacity to be still, we lost the imaginative enchantment that arises from a wandering mind. Reflect on history's great thinkers, Da Vinci, Einstein, Curie. Could they have transformed the world with constant alerts disrupting their concentration, with formulas serving them provocative content every few minutes? Unlikely. Their discoveries emerged from continuous thought, from enduring the productive discomfort of an unoccupied mind. Monotony isn't the foe, it's the cradle of brilliance. Yet, we've created a world where even brief stillness feels intolerable. We soothe the urge with digital relief, never grasping that we're severing our own creativity. This isn't coincidental. It's not some random fluke that society today seems dazed, distracted, and addicted to immediacy. It's intentional, calculated, and deeply systemic. A preoccupied populace is a manageable one. People too absorbed in flickering screens and endless notifications don't have the bandwidth to question authority, challenge norms, or imagine alternatives. When attention becomes fragmented, curiosity fades. When curiosity fades, so does dissent. A citizenry consumed by momentary thrills, by the dopamine hit of likes and loops, will never pause long enough to identify the chains they're willingly wearing. Those who exchange introspection for instant pleasure are not only silencing their inner voice but also numbing their sense of urgency. The harsh truth? The very tools that could liberate us, boundless knowledge, global connection, creative potential, are being repurposed to bind us. We scroll instead of search. We binge instead of build. Information has never been so accessible, yet it's rarely truly accessed. We don't lack intellect or ability. We lack conditioning. We've been trained, subtly and persistently, to prefer the trivial over the transformative. It's not that we can't grasp complex ideas, it's that we've been coaxed into believing they're not worth our time. We've been fed a diet of highlights and headlines, taught that brevity equals value, and told that slow equals failure. But behind this rapid-fire consumption is a quietly growing void, the death of depth, the erosion of stillness. And the irony is brutal. In an age overflowing with answers, we're forgetting how to ask real questions. Our potential is being siphoned, not through violence or force, but through perpetual amusement. And we let it happen, not because we don't care, but because we're too tired, too distracted, too sedated to notice. The tragedy isn't ignorance, it's voluntary oblivion. We have the tools, we have the access. What we lack is the will to unplug and remember who we are beneath the noise. So, the decision is yours. Will you keep drifting, allowing the digital giants to mold your thoughts, letting the media conglomerates dictate where your attention goes? This is a pivotal moment, a crossroads between the mindless flow of the status quo and the rare, conscious choice to reclaim sovereignty over your own mind. No one is suggesting that you abandon pleasure, entertainment, or relaxation. That would be unreasonable and counterproductive. But what we need is balance, not blind consumption. It's about finding harmony between living in the moment and choosing moments that nourish you rather than deplete you. The idea is not to eliminate joy, but to experience it in a way that aligns with your true essence. How often do we pause to be present without distraction, to exist in stillness without an internal sense of unease? We've forgotten how to sit quietly with ourselves, how to be content in our own company, how to engage in activities that challenge us without the incessant need for an escape. In this age of instant gratification, what we've lost is the patience for anything that requires effort or perseverance. A complex idea, a deep conversation, or even a challenging book feels like a Herculean task in the face of a world constantly offering fleeting distractions. But this isn't just about preference, it's about survival. Your mind is under siege. Each brief check of your phone, each quick scroll through your feed, is not simply a momentary pause. It's a compromise of your most valuable resource, your focus. You're not just checking in. You're being conditioned to fragment your attention, piece by piece, day by day. And in this fragmentation, your power to think critically, to reflect deeply, and to connect meaningfully with the world erodes. It's insidious, and it's happening to all of us. You're not merely distracted, you're being overwhelmed. In a world full of noise, stillness is a revolutionary act. But first, you must decide. Will you reclaim it? Picture this. Every moment you spend aimlessly scrolling, every second you dedicate to an endless loop of irrelevant content, is a minute taken from your life. It's a subtle form of depletion, one that accumulates quietly, unnoticed, until you wake up one day and wonder where all your time has gone. Would you still mindlessly tap that app if you truly understood the cost? The truth is far harsher than we care to admit. These tech companies aren't just stealing your money. They're taking something far more valuable: your ability to think deeply, your capacity for focused attention, your skill to engage with the world around you undistracted. This isn't just about your productivity or your work life. It's about the essence of who you are. Over time, we've traded away something irreplaceable: our ability to stay present, to connect meaningfully with others, to appreciate the world, without the constant pull of our devices. And the worst part? We don't even realize what we've lost until it's gone. We've allowed ourselves to become accustomed to superficial engagement, to quick hits of instant gratification, and in doing so, we've let go of our true potential. Imagine, for a moment, that each distracted glance at your phone is like a drop in a bucket, slowly filling up with all the time and energy you could have spent on something that truly matters. This isn't just about avoiding mindless scrolling. It's about reclaiming what's been taken from you. Your attention is the most precious thing you possess, and once it's gone, it's not easily regained. The time you waste on fleeting entertainment or irrelevant distractions could instead be spent on creating, learning, and reflecting. It's not just the obvious moments of procrastination that steal your life away. It's the small, unnoticed ones. It's the quiet, everyday choices that accumulate over time, leaving you with nothing but fragments of a life that could have been lived differently. The question isn't whether you can afford to spend your time this way, it's whether you can afford not to change. Historical uprisings, revolutions, and transformative movements weren't led by crowds numbed by constant content consumption. The great thinkers, the visionaries, the innovators who shaped our world didn't get lost in the digital abyss of endless entertainment. No, they were present in the moment, deeply connected to their thoughts and aware of the realities around them. They understood that change requires deep reflection and sustained effort, not just a series of shallow distractions. Great art wasn't born from a mind fragmented by notifications. The creators behind the masterpieces, whether in literature, painting, music, or science, were individuals who committed to their craft, who knew the value of sustained focus and deep immersion. They did not shy away from quietude but embraced it, understanding that within silence, creativity and clarity arise. Similarly, lasting human connections, whether in friendship, family, or love, are not built on half-hearted attention or constant interruptions. They are forged through time spent together, uninterrupted, present. In contrast, we live in an era where people are more connected to their screens than to each other, more invested in online personas than in real, tangible relationships. This isn't your fault, nor is it a personal failing. It's a system of conditioning that has been meticulously engineered. Society didn't just happen to fall into this state, it was constructed. Powerful entities, corporations, tech giants, media conglomerates, understand that they can hold your attention and, through it, your actions, if they keep you constantly entertained and distracted. And they've succeeded. What's more, they've done it without needing any external force, no military or police state. All it takes is an endless supply of content designed to keep you hooked, and the occasional thumbs-up icon to validate the experience. We're not living in a society of oppression. We're living in one of passive entertainment. You think you're in control, but every scroll, every like, every click to continue is a small step towards surrendering your focus, your time, and ultimately, your autonomy. And while you're distracted by the next viral video or trending hashtag, someone, somewhere, is quietly reshaping the world. The awakening is now or never. The decision you face is more urgent than you may realize. Will you continue on the current path, drifting through life, your attention sold to the highest bidder? Or will you reclaim your mind, your focus, and your time? One moment at a time. This isn't a question of whether change is possible. It's a question of whether you can afford to stay where you are. The world is moving, shifting, evolving, at an ever-increasing pace, and you have two choices. Either you take control of your own direction, or you let the winds of external forces push you along, wherever they see fit. The stakes are high. Your attention isn't just a commodity. It's the foundation of your entire existence. It is through your focus that you interact with the world, that you make sense of your experiences, that you create meaning in your life. Without it, you are adrift, a passenger in your own journey, unable to navigate, to steer. And the consequences of remaining passive are far more severe than they appear. You might think you're just spending a few minutes here and there. On social media, just a quick distraction before you get back to real life, but these fleeting moments add up. They erode your capacity for sustained thought, for deep reflection, for true engagement with the world around you. The real question isn't whether you can handle these small distractions. It's whether you can afford not to make a change. The more you drift, the more your ability to think critically and act consciously fades. The more you remain passive, the more you lose touch with who you really are, with your core values, with your potential. Time isn't on your side. The clock is ticking, and every moment you allow to slip by is a moment you can't reclaim. So, ask yourself, will you continue to be a user, an observer, a passive participant? Or will you choose to be a thinker, a creator, an active participant in your own life? The choice is yours, but it's a choice you must make before it's too late. The timer is running, ticking down relentlessly, and the choice, much like your focus, is entirely yours. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, the same potential to make an impact, but how we choose to use our time, where we direct our attention, makes all the difference. The concept of time is often misunderstood. We tend to think of it as something we have in abundance, that there will always be more of it tomorrow. But the truth is, every second we waste on trivial distractions is a second we'll never get back. Once gone, time doesn't return. It simply becomes a part of the past, a memory that fades and leaves no trace but regret. In the digital age, we're constantly bombarded with distractions that threaten to steal our attention, to pull us away from what truly matters. And the more we indulge in these distractions, the less we are able to fully engage with the present, to live in the moment and pursue the things that give us real fulfillment. So, this is the challenge. Can you make a conscious decision to change, to move away from passive consumption and toward a more intentional, focused way of living? Can you resist the urge to drift, to let your mind be molded by external forces, and instead take the reins of your own life, guiding yourself toward growth, depth, and purpose? This isn't about eliminating all enjoyment or entertainment. It's about finding a balance, about understanding the value of your attention and protecting it. Your ability to focus, to dive deep into meaningful pursuits, to build something that lasts. This is the true power you possess. Will you use it to drift away, to become just another cog in the machine, or will you seize control and create something lasting, something that matters? The choice is yours. But remember, time waits for no one. Every moment that passes is a moment you can never get back. So, what will you do with yours?